Again, 2 days in a row. Can you believe that? I promised yesterday, Lord willing, I'd be back today. So here I am. I am looking forward to this, and I'm not looking forward to this because this is some very hard stuff to hear. But we need to know, I believe, what Jesus went through when he was crucified. And it would have been today, Friday of the Feast of the Passover. So, we talked yesterday about the trial and how illegal it was and all of that. So I'm going to pass that. But what I've done is I found a journal article from the Journal of the American Medical Association. It's not meant to be a religious or theological discussion. It's purely medical. And let's get right into it. So once Jesus had been found guilty, which is where we stopped yesterday, he was taken and he was scourged. Now what scourging is there as a wooden pole 2-3 feet long, maybe longer, with several strips of leather attached to it on the end, or tied, or however they were fixed. They were on there, long strips of leather. About a few inches from the end of each strip, there would be a lead ball, and then on the ends of them, I don't know if it was all or some, but there would be sheep bones that had been sharpened. So, and the person who was being scourged was stripped naked and was tied to a pole where his arms are above his head. He's hanging facing the pole. And then either one or two guards, Roman soldiers, would swing these, it's called flagellation. They would swing this thing as hard as they could swing it, and boom. And when it hit, the balls would cause deep bruises, very painful. Then the sheep bones would catch like a fishing hook, and then they would jerk it off. Can you imagine how bad that hurts? I've been gimping around here for 2 months because I dropped a butter knife on my toe. I cannot imagine this. It just makes me sick to think about it. And this would go on. He got 39 straps or 40. I'm not sure which one. I'll find out. I don't remember right off the top of my head. Sorry, I didn't research that well enough. But you get the idea. 39 or 40 times, that's a lot of times. And by the time that this had been completed, the muscles all the way down into the skeletal muscles in between a person's ribs were torn. Like the meat that you eat off of your ribs when you barbecue ribs, that was ripped. And the person was bleeding, bruised, in excruciating pain. And then, many times, people would die just from that, from the pain and from the blood loss. That alone would kill many people. But Jesus was young, and he was strong, and he was in good shape because he had been walking his whole life from city to city. He was a carpenter by trade, so he was in good physical condition. But he had been kept up all night the night before in the trials and deserted by his friends. I'm sure he felt deserted by God, in the Garden of Gethsemane. Let's be back up to that. In the garden, the night before, when Jesus prayed, Father, if it be your will, take this from me. He was in such stress, feeling such weight of the world on his shoulders, he developed hematidrosis. This is a very rare condition. It's a psychological condition. When the mind is under such intense pressure, it was so hard for him that the layers of the skin literally start just separating from each other, and blood fills in the sweat glands, and you literally bleed blood through your pores. It's a physical manifestation of a very, very, very stressful situation. And Jesus at that time was feeling the sin of all mankind for all time, for you, for me, for everybody, past, present, future. He felt that. The condemnation for the sin that we are born with, for the sinful nature that we're born with because of the fall. He felt all of that. And that's why he sweated blood. Look it up. Hematidrosis. Hematidrosis. Google it. So anyway, back to the cross. After the scourging, the cross, the whole cross that people would be crucified on would weigh well over 300 pounds. So the person would not be able to carry the cross like we've always seen Jesus in the movies carrying the whole cross. Not the case. The top bar, what's that called? Patibulum weighed about 75 to 125 pounds. Then they put that on his shoulders. On top, don't forget, he's ripped to shreds in his back right now. He's losing blood. He's suffering from blood loss already. Big time. And it's about to get a whole lot worse. He was so weak that he couldn't carry the cross because he had been beaten so hard. And one of the soldiers would carry the sign. In this case, it would say, Jesus, King of the Jews. And the Jews weren't very happy about that. But that's a side note. That's another sermon. Another teaching for another day. And then to make the process last longer, they would put a crude, just nail a board, literally, across the upright of the cross, and it would make a crude seat that he could sit on. And don't forget, he's ripped to shreds. So his back's rubbing against this, his butt is sitting on this, and when they nailed his arms, not his hands. They've done studies, and if you drive a nail through this part of your hand and hang up a dead body, it'll just pull out. The nails were right here. There's a big mass of people get carpal tunnel. That's the carpal right here. That's the area. Big mass of nerves right there. And driving a nail through that would cause blinding pain. And not only that, his weight is hanging on these nails because he's out like this. And it would cause him to fall forward, which would dislocate your shoulders. Okay? You getting the picture? This is bad. And then they would take his feet, some say one on each side, through the side of the foot. Some others say the feet were on top of each other and it would be nailed like this part of your foot. Imagine that. Right where you tie your shoe, right in there, just below. A nail went through all the way and nailed you to the cross. So now he's standing on these nails, and his body weight is hanging on this two nails up here in his wrist, pulling down, and now it's hard to breathe. And the only way that it would cause a person to be unable to exhale when they were like that. That's why they didn't last a long time, 2, 3 hours, 4 hours at max. But some people lasted for days. It depended on how badly they were beaten when they were flogged before the crucifixion. If they were beaten like Jesus was, it wasn't going to last a long time. But that's another. We're going to get off into the theological part. I don't want to go there because I was just going to keep this short, if I can. But I do want to cover it because we need to know this. This is important. We need to know this. What Jesus did for us, for you, for me, what he did and what he endured for us. Anyway, I digress. Like I said, his feet were either nailed from side to side or from straight down. Very painful. I don't know if you can see this or not. There's a diagram of the foot. Yeah, you can see it right over here. That's where the nail was. There's a cross section down here where it went through. Very painful. I forgot I could do that. See if I have a picture of the hands too. Yeah, here's the hand. See that? There. Right there. I can't even imagine. Like I said, I've been gimping around for 2 months because I dropped a butter knife on my toe. This is just unimaginable. And then the person would have, remember, this is doctors that compiled this, okay, from a purely medical standpoint. But like I said, to exhale, you would have to push up on those nails and let out, and then fall back down, and then inhale, push up on the nails, and pull with the hands too, I'm sure, as much as he could, because remember, his shoulders are dislocated. Oh my God. Just one dislocated shoulder would make me cry, I'm sure. So all of that's going on. So here's a picture of what it looks like when he's on the cross right there. See that? And that puts all this pressure. Yeah, and also you see right up here, the hands are rotating on those nails. When he's pushing up, the hands turn. Just fiery, searing pain in both wrists while this is going on. And like I said, his back and his butt are against it. His legs too. No, well, not his legs, because his legs would have been bent. They put it where the legs were bent, so they couldn't hold his legs stiff. You had to cause you to have to push up, like I just showed you. Very, very, very painful. And then, just to make sure, it was customary because Roman law, not German law. Roman law, and he was crucified by the Romans because the Jews wanted the Romans to kill him. That way they could say it wasn't us. But I'm not down in the Jews. I love everybody. But the people of that day hated Jesus and they wanted him dead. Okay? I'm not bashing anybody, please. It's hard to teach this without offending somebody. But that's not my point. But even if you are offended, if you get it, that's okay. Because I want you to get it. So, in the end, 3 to 4 hours, if the person was not dead, they would break their legs below the knee. Now you can't push up. So now you got a few minutes. And you're done. And then after that, they would take a sword or a spear and stick it through probably the right side, through the rib cage, into the heart. But I'm pointing, you can't see it. Let me see if I have a graphic. I think I do. No, yes. pierced the spear, that's where they would have, the spear would have gone. You can see it on your left, and then in the middle there is a cross section of the body of the spear going through by the right lung and hitting the heart. And you're done. This is the heart right here, right there. Into the heart. So you can do it from either side, but they say most likely from the right. So Jesus endured all of this for us. The weight of the sin of every person who ever lived, past, present, and future. And that's another good teaching there about what happened to the people that had already died before. Yeah, that's good. I'll get around to that one too. That's good. It's really good. I know this is hard to hear and hard to see, but I believe it's necessary because this is, Easter is Sunday. So this is traditionally the day they calculated the date, and they're saying it would have been, everybody's got different opinions. Trust me, anybody's been to college knows that, but anybody knows that. April the 7th, anyway, of the year AD 30. AD, yeah, 30 is when this would have happened. Today is April the 2nd, so we're within 5 days of being on the day, the anniversary of the day. We're in the Holy Week, in the 2nd, we're in that week of the triumphal entry and the things that happened, and then the trial and crucifixion all happened in the week, during the Feast of the Passover. That's why they wanted him dead before. Excuse me. I hope that you don't see that. People are replying to stuff on YouTube. I don't think you can, but I want to make sure. Where was it? Oh, they wanted him dead before 6 o'clock that night, because that's when the Passover was, that next day. The feast, it was the last day of the Feast of the Passover, or the celebration, annual celebration of the Passover. So, but they didn't have to, because Jesus at this gave up his life. They didn't kill Jesus. Jesus could have come down off that cross that fast and killed everybody involved in this, but he chose not to. He could command. He said in the garden he could command 12 legions of soldiers. A legion is 72 soldiers. That's a lot of soldiers, or angels, to come. One angel, in one instance in the Old Testament, killed 5,000 people overnight himself. So, anyway, I digress. I love you all. I hope you get something out of this. If you do, please let me know that you got something out of this. It would be good to know. And I have possibly some big news coming soon. But I'm not going to say right now because it has not been determined yet. But things are starting to happen. God is starting to move. And that excites me very much. And so until Sunday, I'll let you go, and God bless you. Try to go to a sunrise service Sunday morning if you can. It's significant. It's moving. Okay. Catch you later.